Hello there, everyone. Today's photographs are hands-on with the brand new PS5 Slim. This is the latest PlayStation console, which is smaller, sleeker, and filled with new features not seen on prior models. This was released in the United States a few weeks ago. However, it was only recently released in the United Kingdom. So if you're contemplating purchasing one of these or aren't sure what it has to offer over the other model, then today's video will assist. Okay. So I went with the physical edition, which means it comes in the traditional white box rather than the black one. If you go digital, we have the new PS5 on the front and nods to some of the best PlayStation titles, including Spider-Man 2 on the back. Oh, and I just noticed there's no top handle to carry it like there was on the original PS5 box. Then we got the power cord, some plastic feet, a USB-C charging cable, and an HDMI 2.1 cable inside. We also have the regular white DualSense controller, which has been seen before. I wouldn't ordinarily show you the manual because, let's face it, no one reads them. However, it appears that PlayStation has given some real effort into it, covering topics such as getting started, removing the disk drive, and installing the new SSD. That's cool. Then there's the new PlayStation 5. Wow, the white panels. However, as you can see, the main difference in the design is that we now have 4 panels instead of simply 2. The bottom 2 are still matte. However, the top 2 are now glossy. I'm surprised by this because glossy coatings are often difficult to keep clear of fingerprints, but this appears to be enough. The top and bottom panels are separated by a very thin line that runs from front to back. I wasn't convinced when I first saw the photographs of this when it was originally introduced, but I could get used to it. Then, across the bottom, we have these little triangle, circle, XE, and square icons on the panel, as well as those tiny icons built into the grain on the inside of the panels. Now, on the original side, we had approximately 15 or so various sets of covers that we could swap out. PlayStation has stated that more panels will be added to this device in early 2024. When we get some official console covers, I'll change these back to black, along with a matte black centerpiece. And when that time comes, swapping things out will be a breeze. Simply pull away from the plates and they will pop right off. But until then, we'll have to make do with white. You may have noted that the ports on the front are slightly different from what we've seen previously. As a result, we now have 2 USB-C ports instead of 1 each. This will come in handy if you're connecting in a PSVR 2 headset and need another USB-C port. However, if you require a USB-A connector, we still offer 2 on the back, along with a LAN port, an HDMI port, and the power input. In addition, the only button on the front is the power button. There is no disk eject button because it is located on the disk drive itself. The advantage of this is that I no longer have to guess which button turns it on, as I forget every time I click it. As this is the disk edition, the disk drive is included and already installed. What's fantastic about the new PS5 is that we can add or remove features as we see fit. Then, beneath that, we press this small button and the drive itself pops off. Unfortunately, we do not have a replacement panel to replace it. But if we did, we'd be able to transform this into a digital PS5 while keeping it even slimmer. However, if you do decide to get the digital 5, you can purchase the disk drive separately and install it. If you do it this way, it will cost you roughly £10 more, but you will have a spare panel to fit. Then, just line up the connector and press down into it to reinstall the disk drive. Clicks. Keep in mind that if you purchase the drive separately, you will require an internet connection the first time you install it. That is only to allow it to register and get the most recent update. Now, the stand on the new smaller PS5 is unlike anything we've seen before. Instead of the plastic base that allows you to stand your PS5 vertically or horizontally, it comes with these .so. These small feet are meant to go into the gap between the 2 covers and sort of prop up the PS5. If you look closely, you can see how it uses those PlayStation logos we saw previously to help balance things out. But, to be honest, I'm not convinced this is it. I mean, it's solid enough and won't fall apart, but I don't enjoy seeing these feet from the front. If you're looking for a space savings 5, this is it. However, I dislike the placement of the HDMI port on the back, as it means the HDMI wire is somewhat high when viewed from the side. Other than size, weight, and design, there is just one difference between the new thin PS5 specs and performance, and that is the internal storage. The original PS5 comes with 825 GB of storage by default, of which only 667 GB is usable. The new one, on the other hand, comes with a 1 TB disk, of which approximately 850 GB is usable. As a result, the additional 200 GB of storage will be handy for the next Call of Duty upgrade. Aside from that, the CPU, GPU, RAM, and all other specifications are identical, so you're not gaining or losing anything by downsizing your PS5. Under the top panel, there's also the same internal SSD bay. So if you wish to add to the original 1 TB of storage, you can remove this metal cover and insert an M.2 drive, bringing the total storage capacity to 8 TB. But what this implies is that it doesn't matter which console you play on. The new or old PS5 will give you the same experience. Oh, and one issue I didn't realize until I turned it on was that the LED strip had migrated from the top to the bottom of this PS5. It's not a significant change, but it's worth noting. Overall, I enjoy the design of the new PS5 Slim. It's identical to previous models, but with a few tiny differences: more USB-C connections, a smaller footprint, a removable disk drive, and more capacity. If you already have a PS5 and are thinking if it's worth switching to this one, I would say no, unless you require a smaller PS5 in your setup. The same holds with a somewhat smaller instance. However, if you were buying your first PS5 today and had a choice between the two, I would go with the new one. The extra storage alone is worth upgrading, and will almost certainly see console covers on this that you won't see on the old one. So, that was a quick look at the new PlayStation 5 Slim. And if you did enjoy today's video, okay, so thanks for watching. Please like, sub, and follow me everywhere. Until next time.